Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the WGL EU week number 10. Got it. 7. Week 10, day 2. I don't know why I thought 7.
Where'd you get 7
I think
from?
I saw 7 on my notes. I was thinking of a point to come up with, but it's week 10.
Okay.
Of course, thank you for joining us here. If you've just joined us, you've missed out some fantastic games already earlier on in the night, especially our first one, which you can go back and check on our VODs on YouTube later on. But this one, of course, Tornado Rocks going up against noMERCY.
Sure.
Second place versus 12th. As we said before the break, on paper, looks like a bit of a mismatch.
Yeah, I mean, surely Tornado Rocks will be able to bring this to like a 5-1, a 5-2, maybe at best for noMERCY a 5-3, but, you know, I just don't see how noMERCY can win this one. They've been inconsistent the whole season. They've had a lot of close matches, a lot of close rounds, but they've not been able to finish them off. Yeah. And that's where Tornado Rocks have been at their best. And if it does go to a tiebreaker by some miracle, we know Tornado Rocks can also, you know, win those quite easily.
Yeah, the tiebreakers they've been quite confident on as well. The map pool today is Steps, Ruinberg, then Steps. Yes, we get those two maps yet again. At least we're seeing Steps thrown in there. I know you like that map especially. I appreciate it. So, yeah, Steps will be our tiebreaker map if it's required. The last time that Rocks played Steps was back in Matchweek 7, and it was 2-2 get Supreme.
I mean, this is the thing. Again, you know, Tornado Rocks has just been playing Ruinberg and Himmelsdorf like you would expect. And, you know, noMERCY have played it a few times, 5 times this season, haven't lost it, so this is obviously their map choice. Ruinberg is Tornado Rocks' map choice. That's, you know, given as, you know, to be fair, this Polish team, they've been good on Steps, and Tornado Rocks have been good on Ruinberg. So, you know, if noMERCY can get some sort of scoreline here on this first map, they definitely have a fighting chance. Yeah,
important to point out as well, not only have noMERCY, they've been good on Steps, Rocks have been good on Ruinberg, but noMERCY have also been not so good on Ruinberg as well. Won 3 against Penta last week and lost 2 rounds in less than 3 minutes. So they sort of got run over the top of. But, you know, what we want to know, you've heard it from us, you've heard sort of some stats, just the straight down the line stuff. Melly, we want to hear from the community. We want to hear from obviously people getting their votes in and getting behind these guys as well, because we know, as is often the case with a lot of the Polish fans, you have a funny look on your face. You're seeing something interesting.
Yes, because going from the table point of view, where Tornado Rocks is so much higher in the standings than noMERCY, this vote doesn't make sense. It's 57% for Tornado Rocks. So Tornado Rocks is leading this vote with only 7%.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it as well. Like, I've always said, and I don't want to offend anyone by this, but every time I'm in Poland for a World of Tanks event, I feel like I'm in the capital of World of Tanks. Like, this is where it is. The crowds are crazy. Everyone's super into it. Huge viewership and fanatic fans as well. So it kind of makes sense, I guess. You know, like, Rocks are considered to be the better team, but noMERCY still putting their votes behind their team.
Absolutely. It's funny to see. So people, if you haven't voted yet, head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/WGLEU, where you can participate as well, where you can get your votes in by clicking on your favorite team. The team logos are displayed, and then predicting the exact scoreline for this matchup. And looking through the scores, it's either 5-4 or 5-1. So it's a very mixed voting this time, and we love seeing mixed stuff, but because sometimes it displays in the match, surprisingly.
Yep.
But another way of getting involved is, of course, Twitter. Use the hashtag WGLEU to tell us what's on your mind, and maybe tell me why this vote looks the way it looks.
We wouldn't mind a little bit of extra insight there on that one. Now, we did, of course, catch up with the captains of these two teams before you know, this match to get their idea of where it was going. Our first one will be with Rocks. It will be Sheeper, one of their captain. He's based here in Germany, I believe. He speaks in Russian here, so this is more for the benefit of our Russian viewers at home as well, maybe if you know a little bit. But check it out. This is what Sheeper had to say on this match.
Команда noMERCY является новичком Golden League, как и мы, которая неплохо усилила состав, всегда показывает очень хорошую игру, удивляет соперника, и я думаю, нас ждет хорошая игра.
And of course, we can't really read too much into that one, so thanks for that one. It was hard, obviously, to sort of converse with Sheeper and anything sort of apart from the basic stuff, but it was definitely good to have him down for the weekend here. But we did also get Snip, took him aside, had a chat to him about what he thought about Rocks as well. And this was a few weeks ago, but I think you'll find that he's pretty spot on in his thoughts.
Tornado Rocks is the one of teams that changed whole near lineup before the season. Some Russian-speaking stars joined them, and actually it works really well. After really bad start of season and lost close games against Utopia and Vuza, we will need every point, and I hope in this match we will get some.
I mean, he's not wrong. They really need these points right now. Sitting on the bottom of the ladder with 1 win and 8 losses. I mean, you know, their last game was a rough one against Penta. I mean, in the early on in the Super Week, we actually saw them get a win, which was great against ASAP. So they've had that win now, but I mean, they're in that sort of relegation zone here. This is where things get rough for them. Is it auto relegation as well?
All 12th place is auto relegation. They'll be straight out of the league. I mean, to be fair to them, they had that 5-0 result against ASAP where they absolutely trounced them on steps, our first map, so that might be down to, you know, ASAP not really being in that game insane, you know, wasn't playing. There's all sorts of rumors around
and we were
the scene.
like, even in Twitch chat, we're saying like, I wish I could be there, I wish I could have influenced this game. He was definitely upset not to be able to be there.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, Tornado Rocks have that in the back of their minds for sure. They got to be scared of noMERCY, and I don't think they're taking it lightly. They're in 2nd place right now. They've got quite some points to catch up to actually get to Supreme, and they won't be able to do that this season. But you know, they can secure themselves, keep Virtus Pro away, keep Kazakrew away, keep themselves in that auto final slot.
All right, so here are our lineups. Here is Tornado Rocks to go on the attack first. noMERCY will be defending. Again, no T-32s here as well. Going for those light lineups on both sides, and a piece of artillery here for Tornado Rocks.
Yeah, so, I mean, when noMERCY played against ASAP, they were quite reactive, they were fast, they were really putting a lot of pressure onto ASAP immediately and catch them out in a lot of awkward situations. I thought the player skill was on point as well, as Rafik does receive that first bit of damage in the T21, but the spots have come out. noMERCY now knows where Tornado are, and they are, you know, trying to peek. I think they're actually trying to go for the damage here.
By and large, Zik was fairly fortunate to get out of that one unscathed. Couple shots in towards his tracks, but nothing overall to write home about. And Rafik, though, did get chunked down fairly badly there. He is definitely a little bit lower. He may have been hit just now by the Armageddon. I'm not sure. But there was a shot that went into the valley. I didn't see any indicator on there, but still, Rafik is low. And now Tornado Rocks, they want to push up here. My 1945 year. Kapolika and Zik as well. Now, obviously, that's not how you pronounce his name properly. He's using the Cyrillics, and unfortunately, it looks very similar to English, so we're going to go with what we can. And Vorsik, by the way, is Vorsen in that 251. So, you know, we've seen him around quite a lot. He's a fantastic player. Played for School Bus, played for Virtus Pro. Great player. And
played for, before that, he was even one of the stars in a Russian team. I think it was Mind, one of those teams which is in the finals. And after the finals, actually, he either left or he got removed from the team and he moved over to Europe. And I was pretty surprised because he was one of the highest damage dealers. But you know, he makes a lot of weird movements. Like in Virtus Pro, they lost that season 4 finals when he just went into the middle of the map against Kazan. He just went straight in and got against School Bus and got absolutely wrecked, and that was a final round which of course secured School Bus the title of Wargaming League champion so for Europe. So I mean, that's the kind of thing that's in Vorsik's mind all the time, but that's the damage we're looking for from the Armageddon. Great work from him in the M44 as Tornado are punishing noMERCY for being in the open and being slightly too passive.
This is the Armageddon's been the only man to do damage so far in this game, and he's done at least 1,200, so he is just such an excellent player right now. The M44 really suiting him, and noMERCY now realise that they cannot stay in the one place for any long period of time. Now a bit of a fire has been lit under their feet. They have to move, but do they have the time? Do they have the experience to know where? That's the problem. The caps have been underway, and now they're just trying to do a bit of a sweeping motion, a bit of a regroup here towards the center of the map.
This is a perfect position for Tornado. They've done the early damage. They've found out where noMERCY are, and they're in that right side cap. Now, we saw it in today already, you know, Penta versus Ding, a pretty similar situation where we had the defending team pushing into the attackers, and they managed to secure the win. And we'll see if that works out here for Tornado.
Oh my god, the focus fire going on towards Shock. He gets taken very, very low now. The artillery fire not going to connect this time, but noMERCY are on the move, so you can understand that. Positive goes down. Top player for Tornado Rocks last week, but Snip won't be far behind as well. My 1945 year is going to get pushed onto by 2 tanks, and Kapolika from the back, just trying to support, just trying to help out here. The Armageddon definitely has to chip in. He needs to be a factor right now. He has to be involved in this fight. Lucky Blast goes low as well. So is Matt PL. Shock is a one-shot as well. It's good damage coming out from Tornado, and they should be able to finish this off.
Yeah, I mean, this is going really well for Tornado. They're about 2,000 head. I have to say, though, noMERCY are playing a pretty good game right now, hitting their shots, doing the damage, but it's just simply not enough. And Zik does get caught out in the open with his pants down.
Not good. He's very, very low. 3 shots went towards him, and Kapolika now just trying to block. He does block that one shot, and Zik stays alive for now. He's going to try and back away. Having that gun in the game right now is so important for Rox here, because noMERCY already have an extra lightweight on the field. Let's see now. Things have evened up a little bit, though, as Vorsen does get the kill. Yamto, your Lucky Blast. Shock and Fuss Eater are the only tanks left. They're looking straight towards Yamto here as well. Zik just trying to stay safe right now. Kapolika goes down. Yamto takes a shot. And Zik will now get the finish on towards Lucky Blast. 3v3 in terms of lightweights here. All those, those functional tanks, I'll call them, as Armageddon just trying to do some work from the background here. Shock and Fuss Eater will be the last 2 standing. noMERCY, they often do it. They often go for the gambit, the push. It's not going to pay off, though, because Tornado Rocks, they paved the way with some great damage from the Armageddon, and they will take their first round.
Yeah, I mean, very simple stuff. I think before that even happened, I mean, it was already pretty much game over. Tornado did early damage. They had the pressure in the cap. And I think, noMERCY were a little bit tentative. They kind of semi-rushed the cap, but not all of them were going in there. A lot of them were sitting back, and I think they just lacked that HP, that concentric firepower to actually, finish this game off and manage to win against Rox. You can see Shock immediately turns left. Fair enough, he's low on HP, but you see Fussy Eater, Lucky Blast. They all just kind of peter off in every direction, and it's just a firing galley for Tornado Rox. Just sitting on this hill, shooting down onto noMERCY, and getting the kills and the damage they need. Zik does 2,000 damage this round, and he was a very impressive play, sticking into that hill, doing a lot of damage in the T-54. Jamto, highest damage leader for noMERCY with 1.9k.
Not bad from him as well, but you saw the push there. You saw it effectively splinter, I guess, on the defensive structure of Tornado Rocks there. They received that push and they just held on. I mean, the Armageddon didn't get any connecting hits with that artillery after the first 2, but the damage had already been done. Snip was half healthy. They took a massive chunk out of another lightweight as well.
Yeah, 2 shots in the M44. I mean, that's what we see. We've seen 2 shots hitting so many times in this game. I think it's just because, the average round time in a 754 is about 2.5 to 3 minutes. 2 shots, 3 shots with a 25 seconds reload, 20-second reload, it's about all you'll get. And that's all you need.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the same as 6 shots in a lightweight, which is about as much as most players can sort of hope for in a lot of cases here. So he's done his job using that artillery. Generally, we expect to see that, a strong performance again. Vorsen, good game. Same with Zik as well, as you said. He performed quite nicely. So that was that first round there. I mean, any surprises here? The attacking side here for Tornado Rocks seemed like it went fairly smoothly.
Yeah, I think noMERCY tested them though. I mean, noMERCY didn't really miss too many shells. I think it was, good play from them. I just think they engaged in the wrong area. They engaged in exactly the area Tornado had set up for them. Where they had the tanks on the top, they could shoot down. I think if noMERCY had been a little bit more imaginative, come from a different angle and force Tornado into a position they hadn't trained, I think that would have been a different kind of result for them. But it wasn't bad, to be fair. So, this could be a closer game than we expected as we do start to look into to our second round here. But yeah, I do see Tornado walking away with a win after, these battles that do conclude.
Okay, well, I mean, we often see noMERCY, they go the gambit sometimes. They go for that push. As a team, especially on a map like Steps, where you often find that you separate the great teams from the good. When we see how they respond to the pressure being applied from that cap, how do they go for it? Are they just going to mass all their tanks together in a ball and just hope that it sort of works out? Or do they set up? Are they going to pick apart? Are they going to get the resets from sort of safe distances and let it happen? Melly, of course, votes are still flowing in. There's only a very small advantage to Tornado Rocks in the beginning, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but didn't build up much. Actually lowered. It dropped down to 55% in favor of Rocks. Versus noMERCY, 45%. And yes, Twitch chat is just going into the first round, and I really can't wait for their reactions. Besides Twitch chat just being Twitch chat, but we have a nice Twitch chat there.
So yeah, it's standard. Our KPM rate is pretty good.
Our players are the ones that mix up the situation with funny.
It's all about Keeper these days, though, I heard.
Huh?
It's all about the keeper, I heard, these days.
Yeah, I'm all about the hey guys and Craigasm.
Yeah,
I'm all about those ones.
Thank you.
Or the PJ Salt.
PJ Salt as well.
Pretty
I
common
like a bit of
use.
salt.
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys for joining us. If you have just joined us, we've had some great games tonight, which you can, of course, go back and see on the VODs that we will be getting up on our YouTube page tomorrow or later on, a little bit later on. We're going to have to upload them and get them sorted here as well. And yeah, a lot of people saying Tornado Rocks just have been so strong right now as well. But again, the last three times, last three Rulenberg games have been 2-2, so we don't really know what that second map's going to look like. This is noMERCY's pick as well.
Yeah.
Tornado Rocks make a strong statement, a strong start here on Steps. Let's see if they can make it 2 in a row.
To be fair to noMERCY, I mean, they're the only team really to have a 100% win ratio on a map where they haven't lost a single round, and they've played more than like 2 or 3 rounds. They've played 5. So, I mean, this is a good pick for them, and, it's a little bit surprising that Tornado didn't ban this one out. Obviously, the teams are not necessarily banning what the other teams are good at, but more what they are bad at. So it's hardly a surprise, but Tornado, 9 times this season they played this map, 55% win ratio, so pretty average. As Lucky Blast just gets absolutely wrecked at the beginning. That's a perfect start. Again, the Armageddon doing work in that artillery.
Let's see now. I mean, that's just a huge deficit for noMERCY to be going into this with. One shot can really make or break a round. So let's have a look here. And it's a bit of a group up here for noMERCY here. They're not sure where they want to go. They don't want to be sort of revealed in their positioning here. Tornado Rocks can just play it methodically. Slow and steady wins the race. They're looking in towards that valley as well here, so they might be able to make their way over there. And to be honest, there won't be a lot of resistance at all for noMERCY. They are way out of position. They look like they're completely outclassed here. Tornado going to make their way over towards that eastern cap.
Yeah, Tornado just playing very methodically. They're just, using all the time, the resources they have to offer, moving around the map, trying to get some information. And they are, completely over that right side. The thing is, noMERCY had Lucky Blast to defend that right side. Blind shot from, I believe it was a blind shot from the Armageddon, kind of dug him out of that position. And now noMERCY have left that side completely open. As positive in the IS3, the repick from Tornado has gone forwards, and there will just be a turret and really a thorn in the side for noMERCY to deal with, as it does look like we'll have a similar engagement as we did last time in that previous round, where noMERCY is pushing into their cap, trying to retake it with a brawl.
Yeah, I mean, they have to push again. This is almost exactly the same as what we saw last time, and yet again, noMERCY going into this head-to-head with a distinct disadvantage. Jamto now can't use his T-32 the way it's supposed to be used, because he's going to push down, he's going to push across, but he's going to go over on his own now. Now he can get hulled down on this hill, he can try and get some spots, but he will be vulnerable to the Armageddon setup and then M44.
Yeah, but Armageddon just shot, so you got to wait another 8 to 7 seconds, but it'll still be enough time for him to get at least 1 or 2 more shots before Jamto is in firing range of Positive or Vorsic. So right now, Positive is just acting as a kind of bait for the rest of the team, as the Armageddon just cancels Jamto out, turns him into dust, and it's a great start for Tornado.
It's like he never loaded into the map, and Rafik now getting chunked down quite low. Lucky Blast still smarting from that hit he copped earlier on in the game, and Tornado Rocks can just sit. They can just wait here. On the attacking side of Steps, they have put on such a great performance here. Shock gets hammered. He's forced to back away. Fussy Eater and Matt PL Snip are there. It's all on them right now, really. It's their game to win. They've got to push onto this one. They must get the kills, but Snip just gets chunked down. The Armageddon doing so much work.
He's just a beast. I mean, he's the Arclit of Wargaming League Europe right now. He's an absolute superstar, hitting all the shots he's shooting. To be fair, it's a little bit lucky that Snip is not moving and the M44 is connecting. It's a very inaccurate howitzer, but noMERCY are going for a last-ditch push against Zik and Vorsic.
I mean, honestly, every push noMERCY have made in this match has been last-ditch. It's just the way it's been, and that's the only time they're really coming out of the gates. And it's not enough. They don't have enough resources to work this one. And Tornado Rocks are just going to dash them aside like a piece of paper left on the side of the road. That's all they have to do right now. Lucky Blast is going to have to back away as well.
Hits that last shot.
He's the man.
I've never seen your voice go that high, but he's just
he's
a beast.
The man.
He's a beast. I really appreciate, good artillery work. It's been a bit of a theme today. We had in that previous matchup, the first matchup today.
Yep.
We saw the artilleries and work for Penta and Ding. Fantastic as well. And now we're seeing the Armageddon do truly good stuff for Tornado. 2.1k damage, 2,145 damage done by the M44. That's the highest this season.
So good, man. And honestly, like he's so much far ahead of any of his teammates as well on that one.
I think we've seen one better result in artillery. I think Penta maybe with the artillery. on steps did what 2.9k or something like that. One of the other
that
teams.
shot on Snip was just ridiculous.
Yeah, 748.
And he's moving. He's mobile.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's impressive. I thought Snip was actually just sitting behind that rock and got wrecked, but he was actually moving around. So it's truly an impressive piece of play from the Armageddon. I mean, a lot of people like, oh, artillery, blah, blah, blah. But to be fair, artillery is only effective if you're not playing particularly efficiently and you're not worrying about artillery play. You know, like I often see the kind of older generation of World of Tanks players will almost never die to artillery, because back in the day when the S-51 was just an absolute destroyer of worlds and destroyer of your, you know, cupboard and whatever happened to be near you to punch, you had to learn how to survive in that harsh environment, otherwise you would get picked apart. So you can see noMERCY are trying to do that, trying to avoid the Armageddon, but he's still connecting.
That's right, as well. And they bring a T-32, so it's almost like there's an inclination towards this passive play. They want to just get the resets. They want to be a bit more static, and that's fine. But that option is being taken away from them. They literally, they can't afford to now play like that, because they get a lot of damage done early on, and then Rocks force their hand. Just cruise onto the cap. They're like, okay, we've now established this premise that we have an advantage. Inherently, we are ahead of you guys. If you guys push, I mean, it's just going to be, all things being equal, we're just going to win the round every time. Even if you hit all of your shots, if we hit all of our shots, we will win. So it's always, you know, noMERCY pushing into disadvantage. It's like, well, we've got to go. We've just got to go. Guys, let's push now. And we can see it. Yeah, every push from them has been a last-ditch attempt. It's when they sort of try and make it happen. They're taking too much free damage. Yeah. Their maneuvers have been sloppy. They've been exposing themselves a lot, and just it's like they're not expecting Rocks to be in some very standard spots.
Yeah, and they're giving away that right side. I mean, that's when you give away that right side, you give away a crucial part of the map where you're basically saying, okay, we have to win those engagements. Yep. Like on the defensive side, you can do one of two things. Either go aggressive, you know, run around the map a little bit, try and catch the other team out, or you can just be static. You can get the crucial areas, you can get that right side safe, you can get the 251 boosted up and the T-32 hull down to keep that northern cap. It's fairly safe. Or, you know, I mean, clearly noMERCY going for that first option. Didn't work out for them. Let's see what they do on the attack.
Well, it's time to jump in now, ladies and gentlemen, to our third round on steps here. It's already 2-0 for Tornado Rocks. It's a great start. Now they get to defend. Let's see what they can do. noMERCY with it all to do right now on the attacking side. Lineups here. Anything surprise you, of course? I mean, Tornado Rocks now not having the artillery. They're going to get rid of it. No,
I mean, they just got a super fast and agile lineup. I mean, I do like the T-54s and 251s, and I think you'll just see the 251 being boosted up into A9 area, A8 area, and the rest of the T-54 just go hard down. Only surprising thing, actually Positive is being boosted up. One of the better players for Tornado. But yeah, as I was saying, the only surprising thing is they haven't got the T-32. Like that's a normal pickup on steps, just so you can put it hull down and have it just absolutely punish anyone that does go into the cap. 59-16, spotting out, keeping noMERCY at bay up north.
My 1945 year in the bush here. Great camo on the 59-16 here, and he can just sit tight here and try and get some spots, of course. Now, yes, he doesn't look like he's totally inside the bush, but the way the game works, there's a radius out from the center of that bush in a circle or a sphere, so he's hidden from vision. Trust me on that one. So Snip's been lit. Lucky Blast now got a crest over that hill and should be spotted by my 945 year. He is spotted, though, now. I think, was it a blind shot? It was. That's rough for him.
He can't move. I mean, as soon as he moves, he'll initiate a spotting check on the server, and there'll just be no point. He'll get absolutely cancelled. But Shock should spot him here. He will go down, but good information for Tornado straight away.
Yeah, that's right. My 1945 year knows he's going to die. This is a really forward spotting position right now. It's incredibly aggressive from him. And I don't really know how much he's spotted. He can see those traces. The blind shots are coming out. And they've stopped blind shotting that bush. So my 1945 year is going to survive, and he's going to be able to get some lights up, surely. There's Shock lit up. Lucky Blast and Rafiq there, grouped up behind the hill. It's one of the most aggressive spotting positions I've seen this season.
They should really shoot the bush a little bit more. Rafiq will now find him, and he will get taken down by Snip, team captain for noMERCY, but still, the damage has been done. 2 minutes have been basically stolen off noMERCY, just trying to blind shot my 1945 year out of that bush, but again, they lost the 59-16 for it, so we'll have to see if it's worth it or not.
Okay, well, Kapalika, Vorsen, and Zik on the backside of that hill. Nyamto up the front as well on that T-32. He'll be hulling down if he can get to in position. Tornado Rocks are just going to wait here. They just have to pick apart. It's a very simple strategy for them. I mean, on paper it is. Execution sometimes can be the difficult part. The proof will be in the pudding now as Yamto now moves up towards the hill. He can sit forward. Often we don't always see attacking teams take that T32, but the position that Yamto is in up there is going to allow him to get spots on that little tank that Tornado Rocks will send up to try and get the spots. We've seen lightweights in that position quite often as well. It's just an important pivot point here for noMERCY.
Well, right now, you know, noMERCY are playing Tornado Rocks to their weakness. I mean, the weakness is simply that Tornado doesn't have a T32, so they'll have to rely on Positive and Forsic to do like its role of going hull down and blind shooting with the 90mm into the cap to try and get the resets. I think this is a good setup for noMERCY. They put 3 tanks in the cap to put even more pressure onto Tornado. A little bit surprising that Shock and Snip aren't aiming towards that middle area, but I guess you got 2 T54s that are doing that job anyway, as Tornado does get spotted and they are running out of time.
That's right, but by and large, they've all moved towards the southern part of the map. I don't think they'll get to this space in time. No, I think the capture will be completed without them being able to affect it. So nice work for noMERCY. It's a good setup, and Tornado Rocks just tripping up there a little bit there. That's actually a big mess up, and they give away a free round and one that noMERCY barely had to fight for.
Unbelievable. I mean, we've seen this time and time again this season where the teams just don't get the timing quite right. I don't think noMERCY, Tornado Rocks expected noMERCY just to put up in the cap. I think it was a little bit arrogant as well from Tornado not to bring a T32 to get the blind shots. And also not to blind shot full stop. Like, you had Positive and Vorsic shooting occasionally, but what you normally see is tanks towards that cap number 2 shooting through the middle road, trying to get the resets. Tornado didn't do that, tried to rotate, weren't there in time.
No, that's right. Just awkward from them as well. They didn't plan it out well. No T32. noMERCY had to do very little in that. They really had to sit back. They didn't have to fight. They didn't have to relocate. They didn't have to get off the cap. Very interesting little round there. And I think Rocks now just need to remind themselves here that, you know, there's a reason why noMERCY are in this league, and they have to sort of bring their very best game here. They can't slack off. They can't let the pressure go as well, because that's when noMERCY is going to be able to creep back into this one.
And you can see really what happened. When you have a 59-16 in a really aggressive spotting position, fair enough, like you're going to get, you know, a lot of time for your team and you're going to get early information. But then you could see Tornado, they were super scared of sending a tier 8 over the trench and in towards the cap to get the spots, which would normally be the job of the 59-16 or the MX-12T. But obviously my year 1945, my 1945 year is in this position, eventually gets taken down. So, you know, Rocks doesn't have that resource to expend.
No, that's right, and it was an aggressive position for him to be in as well. And Tornado Rocks didn't set up to be able to capitalize on that. They were just sort of, they're using lightweights and they're, you know, just hulling over a hill. The gun depression isn't stellar. No. I don't really know what they expected to really be able to do there at all. And even they had Positive or maybe Vorsen sat well back over at A9 with the lightweight just trying to get shots. I mean, that doesn't really work. None of their blind shots really connected on towards the cap as well. It was really, really sloppy from Tornado Rocks. Yeah,
they're not really good on the defense right now. I can have a look at that lineup. It doesn't look like they changed anything up. They've still got the 251, the 5 T54s, and the 59-16 stack. Things to look out for in this next round. Where does my 1945 year go? Where is he in that 59-16 in that tier 6? And what does noMERCY do? Do they just play Tornado Rocks to their weaknesses and go for that cap again?
I mean, you know, if Steps, the way that has evolved is anything like Rurenberg, the 2-2-2-2 dream might be real. We might even be going to you know, an overtime or an elongated game stake here. Rocks, they would pick this one up. This isn't their pick, but we've seen them. They are stronger. They just look stronger, quite simply. And the fact is that noMERCY haven't won a round simply by being able to kill all the other tanks. It's just been, you know, strategic. And Tornado Rocks, it was more their mistake and less noMERCY's genius that won that round, I have to say it.
Exactly, but that's what Tornado Rocks is going for with this setup. They're going for the attacks. They know they can outplay them. They can out damage them, but they still have to get from A to B. And right now they failed to do that in the previous round. Let's see if they have a better time in their second chance of defending on Steps. What have they changed? What have they done to try and make sure that is not a repeat of the previous round? You can see the 59-16 of my 1945 years changed positions a little bit. He's in a more standard A5, A6 line position, which will allow him to spot cap number 1. As Tornado Rocks and noMERCY do seem to be having a little bit of a Mexican standoff on the western eastern side of the maps.
Yeah, I mean, this time around, at the very least, Tornado Rocks can just use my 1945 year to push forward, to line up the cap, and then get some reset shots. I mean, it'll only be able to happen once, but if it's enough, it's going to be able to force noMERCY off. So this is a better use of him right now, less aggressive, still refusing to go for that T32, interestingly enough. They just don't want to go in that direction. So Shock will be pushing up here in the lightweight. And noMERCY, well, they can just push on. They're just going to make their way over towards that cap. They're going to be able to sit on there. We'll be able to start ticking that one right on down. And my 1945 here, we'll be able to get a spot on towards Shock if he comes a little bit closer. The blind shots are coming out. So far, Yamto and Lucky Blast have also been lit.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, because Lucky Blast and Yamto got lit, noMERCY will be thinking, okay, well, there has to be a tank in the bush somewhere. You can see they're blind shooting in every position possible. Rafik goes forwards. And this could be a bit of a mistake if he does peek too much, because my 1945 year will find him. But right now, noMERCY, they just have to do this. First of all, just blind shot enough until my 1945 year goes down. Second of all, put Rafik in the cap and just simply set up around that cap to try and defend whatever Tornado just throw at them.
All blind shots right now. Both teams just trying to get lucky, just trying to connect. It's a very, you know, it's a minimal amount of commitment there to for a potential high reward. This my 1945 year does take a hit. And 5 tanks on Tornado Rocks currently lit right now, all of them revealed, as we do have Yamto pushing up fairly aggressively, getting close, but not close enough really for an extended fight to sort of evolve here. And noMERCY know that my 1945 year is still close by. He's still lighting them up, and Rafik does go down. So that's an important piece of the puzzle off the map for noMERCY.
I mean, that's a huge blow to them. I had no idea what Rafik was doing then. He was just out in the open, got spotted by my 1945 year, and got taken down. I mean, really, that's just given the game to the Tornado Rocks. noMERCY can no longer cap effectively. It's given Tornado the ability to negate the fact that they don't have a T32. So really, this is going all the way with Tornado, but my 1945 year finally does get taken down. So they will maybe be able to get themselves back into this game and see if they can actually pick a win up for the second time in a row.
Lucky Blast wants to get some lights here, over towards noMERCY. And noMERCY, obviously, having lost my 1945 here, that is a blow, but it's not the end of the world now, as they can still get some shots. And that PL does receive 1 over towards him. No one on noMERCY currently is lit here. So again, blind shots, just jockeying for position, just moving around here, bleeding down the clock, and so noMERCY can start to feel the pressure on them now. Yeah,
Snip is actually pushing the wreck of Rafik into the cap.
That's
so
cute.
That's a good adaptation. Not the first time we've seen it, but he's actually going to use it as bait more. Like, he's going to put Rafik in the cap. That will be saying to Tornado, okay, shoot behind or near that MX-12T, while Snip just sneakily parks himself in a different part of the cap and continues it.
Because they'll expect someone to be hiding behind it, using it as hold down.
And the MX-12T is not big enough to hide the T-54, so there's no point sitting behind it anyway, really.
It's not worth it. Shock will take a shot to his tracks. But I think Snip and Matt PL have more capture points accrued right now. So here we go. This is where it happens. Tornado Rocks have to push up there. Will they be too slow? I will err on the side of yes here, but they're going to come straight over the kill. All of them now. They know they can outplay. They're confident going up against noMERCY head-to-head. Let's see if it plays out in that fashion. Fussy is going to go low. He is low indeed. Out of 453 health points. Yamto is already low. Matt PL is already low. This is a fight the Tornado Rocks have set up nicely already, but Zik's going to get 2v1 right now. They're pushing on towards him. The focus fire. Not bad for noMERCY, but will it be enough? Matt PL and Yamto leading the column here as Snip and Shock just trying to get involved in the fight. They've got to get over the hill. They've got to bring those guns to bear right now. Matt PL takes down Zik, but forcing a positive double down on towards Matt PL and Yamto, and only 3 tanks left for noMERCY. This firefight is definitely going to go in favour of Tornado Rocks.
They have the better positions. They can just shoot down on noMERCY, and noMERCY received so much damage before they were even in a position to brawl that it was pretty much game over from the point it started. And it will be positive star player for Rocks to take down Shock, the last player for noMERCY, and bring the scoreline on our first map 3-1 in favour of Tornado. Excuse me.
There you go. So already a distinct lead has been carved out of this one by Tornado Rocks on a map that was not their choice, and that does say a lot. When we see this in this sort of happen, a lot of tanks have their home grounds, the maps that they're super confident on, they're comfortable, they're used to it, and they've got strats for it as well. Tornado Rocks have said, okay, well, this is probably not one of our most practiced maps, but we're still going to come out. We're going to show you guys that we are just better head-to-head. And to be fair, we haven't seen anything crazy special. Tactically, very straightforward, because Tornado Rocks, yeah, they might not have spent hours with the Sexton and, you know, like getting their strategy sort of sorted out. They're just going to play it their way, and that's all they had to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's textbook World of Tanks, nothing special, nothing unusual. I mean, Tornado Rocks, if I was going to critique them anything, I think their timing's slightly off. You could see that in that last round. I think they could have just been a little bit more on point. They left it a little bit late for no reason. And yeah, okay, noMERCY decided to leave the cap and charge straight through the middle of the field to then get wrecked by all the players from noMERCY in better positions. But still, they have to make sure they get these points fixed for what's almost certainly going to be a guaranteed place in the finals. Looking at the damage quickly, 2,000 from Negative, 1,800 from Vorsik, and only 1.6k from the highest damage dealer, Shock, from noMERCY. So it's good to see Vorsik, playing that 2-5-1, the sniper galore, and hitting his shells and doing the damage.
Yeah, nice work from him as well. And some different use, a bit of adaptation there for, use of my 1945 here in the 59-16. Set him up a little bit more defensively. He got the spots on. He spotted Rafik, which is really important. That was going to be the tool for noMERCY to sort of orchestrate that capture. They can block him in, protect him. They were setting up to do that in that third round where they won, but they didn't really have to sort of use him to hide behind any tanks. It wasn't necessary at the time. But yeah, but it's very simple, very straightforward from Rocks, and now they get to play on Ruinberg, a map that they're super confident on as well, taking rounds off of teams like Supreme. This is their home ground. They feel super good about it. I mean, the last time, the last time we're on this, it was a strong performance from them. I expect good things from them. I expect to see their standard big damage dealers come up. It's going to suit their sort of way of play as well. Yeah,
62% win ratio for Tornado. They've had a lot of up and downs on this map, but they played it consistently. They're the most experienced out of any team in this league, 21 rounds in total. It's basically what their home stomping ground has been for this entire season.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Melly? Already a good lead for Tornado Rocks here. Polish, the Polish heroes, a lot of fans behind him. I don't
think that Tornado Rocks will give it away. They will take this match, and I think they will take it pretty clear, because they showed what they're made of in the first 3 rounds. No special tactics, just still stomping noMERCY. But on the other hand, if I give it a deeper thought, it's maybe their arrogance, or they showed in the last round that they're taking noMERCY not for granted. They're not for full,
not for fools, yeah.
Yeah,
not for fools,
yeah, and maybe this could break their necks at some point. Who knows?
Yeah.
If noMERCY get it together.
I think for a team like Rocks as well, all it takes is to lose one round to realise, all right, boys, let's just
not give these 3 points away. There's no point. I think they realise they're not going to catch Supreme, but I think they also realise that it's not like the old days where we had the pre-playoffs on day 1, the playoffs on day 2 in the finals. We play the pre-playoffs online, 29th and 30th of August. And then whoever wins that will join, at the moment, Tornado Rocks and Supreme in the finals, but it'll only be a one-day finals. So it's not like, oh yeah, I'm first and second, so I will go straight to day 2, which is sometimes a disadvantage, like we see with Virtus Pro time and time again.
Yep.
You're always going to be on the same level as every other team. You're just making your life easier.
That's right. So one day it's all going to come down to the finals, and Tornado Rocks looking like they're well on the way.
And the vote is shifting in their favor, 64% at this point. But people, head over to Facebook. You still have enough time. We'll be heading into a short break until the second map starts. The vote is still open, so get involved. Head over to facebook.com/WGLEU and vote for your favorite team in this match. The vote will close as soon as we head into the second map, which is Ruinberg. And people, let's see what Ruinberg brings, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WGL EU. We are into our last game of the night.
Sure.
Possibly won't be far from being finished if it keeps heading in this direction. Tornado Rocks 3-1 against noMERCY on noMERCY's map of choice, no less. And now we move on towards Ruinberg, which has been known to be one of those maps where you get on that defensive side to start with, you're going to run away with 2 rounds easy.
And that's exactly what Tornado Rocks have done. They've got themselves to the defensive side. This is their map pick. It's been their map pick consistently this whole season. So technically, this should just be a 5-1 easy pickup for Tornado Rocks. But if we look at that first map, I mean, it was close at some points. I think, noMERCY tested Tornado, especially when they were on the defense, when they were on the attacking side. But at the end of the day, this is their home ground. This is Tornado Rocks' home ground. They know how to play it. They've trained it more than any other map. They played it more than any other map. This should be their map.
Yeah, that's right. Look, it's been 2 out of 4 of those rounds were a matter of noMERCY picking up the cojones and just going in and fighting, and it was just always like, you can't predict the outcome of that one.
Yeah.
Especially when you go in with like one less tank or like a tank that's down to half health. It's like, we're just trying to do something. It's like, it's lazy. Maybe it's lazy. Technically, maybe it's lazy, to be honest with you. And we've been doing this for a while now. All of us have been here. We've seen a lot of games of World of Tanks, and this kind of going head-to-head stuff, just running into someone. I mean, it doesn't always work, and not against teams like Tornado Rocks. I don't know what your thoughts are on that one, Melly. I mean, you've been around even longer than I have. It just seems like a little bit of a weak tactic to run in like that.
I mean, I think one point is as well that teams won't give away their tactics at this point. They will save it for the group stage. They will save it for the finals, and they will try to get themselves through with like the basic stack of tactics everyone knows, and trying to outskill them. And yes, I mean, as you guys already said, the next two rounds should be in Tornado's favor, depending on the map pick, depending on the side they choose to start with. And I mean, I'm not getting tired of saying it. We already saw so many things that we predicted going the other way. So maybe this one is, I don't think so, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
because it's all
everything is possible at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that there's a flying goat somewhere in the space.
Yes.
But
It's quantum physics. I mean, the round it's possible that the ground could open up and swallow us right now.
exactly.
It's quantum physics. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
At
yeah.
any moment, anything could happen. That's the basic principle of it.
If something is possible, it's going to happen at some point. That's the whole thing. But
Right, and there might be some universe
I
out
love that
there.
we're describing
noMERCY is a
noMERCY's
top
chances of
team,
winning this with
and
quantum physics.
exactly.
Unbelievable. It's a bit harsh.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But yes, I mean, what to say at this point, right?
well, look, it's not looking good for them. This is their map of choice, and didn't look like it was their map of choice. Now they're on Ruinberg. They've got to attack first as well, which is just, it's been horrendous. I mean, last time as well, noMERCY lost a defensive round as well to Penta. Their attacking rounds were weak. They lost 2 of them in less than 3 minutes. Hello. That just means that they're just getting wrecked head-to-head. They keep doing it. And it's not going to work out against Tornado Rocks, least of anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
You said it and you cursed it. Well done, Mitch. I was trying to get my way around it, but
We'll see.
yes.
We'll see, of course. We're going to jump in this one very, very quickly as well. So, as Melly has said, get the hashtag WGL going, crank it up, of course, and get involved in our Twitch conversation. We want to hear what you guys have to say and what your thoughts are about these games. I personally had a few people tweet at me tonight with some of their thoughts, which has been good. So I'm always interested to hear what you guys have to say. We've had some lovely pictures as well.
Yeah.
Normally they involve
Especially
Oliver.
steroids.
That's all right. Steroids, classic steroids getting on in there. But let's see. Now, time for Tornado Rocks. They're going to start on defense here, and I expect to see them roll out confidently.
Yeah, the WZ131 and the LTTB being featured by Kopelika and Negative. So a different change in meta we saw in the RU region, of course, first. So it's always interesting to see how the meta changes from the beginning of the season to the end. I've written a couple of articles about it. You probably could check in archives of worldoftanks.eu. That was in Season 5. Anyway, so, I mean, defensive side of Tornado Rocks, solid 80% win ratio, and they've played it 10 times this season. This is going to be very hard. noMERCY have to be really aggressive. They have to catch Tornado by surprise. They have to really, really make them work.
Tornado Rocks prefer to make their own tactics work for themselves. Would you see them setting up here? Bit of a diamond shape, of course, in towards this eastern village. And again, the IS-3 being backed up by the 5100 in the north side, which is a good adaptation. It's what, you know, really shores up that position defensively, because now here comes the, here comes the brigade. The push is on. Those tanks have been spotted now, and there's a bit of time for a bit of setup to be done here. Kapolika going to get one shot over towards him now, but this could hurt for noMERCY if they don't execute it perfectly.
Yeah, it certainly could. I mean, you can see Snip and Lucky Blast not receiving too much damage. Here it comes, actually, a few shells onto them, but they haven't been taken that low. They do have a chance.
5 shells into them already, though. Look how low Snip is. So low that he can't even peek again. Matt PL on the 39, and he takes a shot as well. Fussy Eater and Shock are contributing from the center of the map there. It's not too bad, but Tornado Rocks have already bought themselves a huge advantage here, and there's the first kill. Kapolika goes down. Fussy Eater, but at what cost, though? That wolf pack of 54 lightweights in the 1390 has been stopped dead in its tracks.
And Kapolika will actually provide some cover for Vorsic and Positive. I think you'll see these two go forwards as the Armageddon and my 1945 here are distracting those tanks in the middle.
That's right, and now Vorson's going to have to deal with Matt PL and Lucky Blast, though. It's not an insurmountable task here. The Fussy Eater does go down as well. Matt PL and Lucky Blast, well, they're the next on the chopping block here as Positive rounds that corner, picks up the lightweight. Now the 1390 of Matt PL, putting those shots in here as well. Potential for a lot of burst here, and Positive on his reload is going to take quite some time, so he's going to go low, especially with Yamto and Rafik now contributing as well. Vorson pokes around the corner, gets a shot. Positive finishes onto Matt PL, and only 3 tanks left for noMERCY. Surely means disaster. Yeah,
this game over. I mean, Tornado Rocks just dealing with everything that noMERCY provided. That northern push is very hard to execute. So, you know, Tornado just dealt with it and dealt with the middle area as well, and it's just pretty much an easy, straightforward game for them as Jamto does. Fallen Rafik in that T-37, the last guy to try and provide anything for noMERCY, but I think this will just be a simple pickup, as my 1945 year does secure the 4th and potentially penultimate round for Tornado Rocks.
Absolutely, and our match point does come up. Tornado Rocks are on the defense side of Ruhenberg. We've said it already quite a few times. It's just super comfortable territory for them. This is their home ground. I mean, look, and great setup. I love just the simple fact of putting that 5100 on the northern side. It does so much for the defense there. You know, here's that push, and this used to work. This used to work really, really well. They used to keep a small tank and an IS-3 there, and they'd get wrecked by this kind of push. But now, Vorson being there in that 5100, and now, I mean, the Armageddon and negative 990-45, you're able to contribute from the middle of the map. This push no longer works against a decent setup. And there was 5 tanks from noMERCY committed to this push, and it still failed because the buildings were in the way. Jamto and Rafik couldn't do much to help. Yeah, they got good crossfire at the beginning, and that's why they managed to find Kapolika. But you can see Vorsic and Positive, they play very well together. Positive actually did the most damage in that last map, 1.8k. Vorsic not far behind with 1,806, so 1,845 to 1,806. Positive with 4 frags as well. So, you know, those two played very well. They dealt with that northern push, which is, of course, the most, you know, potent from noMERCY, and that middle area was dealt with by the rest of the tanks from Tornado Rock. So a nice simple pickup, and noMERCY really are on, you know, the match point right now. They're down a lot of rounds. They need to bring 3 in a row to actually, you know, come back. And this is just business as usual. This is business as usual right now, of course, for Tornado Rocks. Getting it done here, you know, this is match point. This is exactly that, and they have a good chance of bringing it out here. I really expect to see them just take it away. I mean, Positive in that last game was really, really good. Vorson was great. Positive with 4 kills, by the way. Yeah. With probably only 4 shots worth of damage, maybe a little bit more than that. We're going to jump into the map soon as well on Ruhenberg. noMERCY with nothing left to lose. Do they just try something weird, wacky, different? Yeah, they have nothing to lose, as you said. You know, when you're going through the matches every season, you're looking at which teams you can beat, which teams you probably won't be able to beat. I think this one is one noMERCY would have put down as, you know, they haven't got much to lose because it's, you know, Tornado Rocks. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't do that the whole of this matchup. Just go super aggressive, really weird stuff, and just see what Tornado Rocks has to try and counter that. But yeah, we are going to head into game for this potentially last round, as Tornado Rocks are 4 rounds up and on match point. Saddest part is as well, last time we saw noMERCY, when they won against ASAP, they had a different rollout every single round on Ruhenberg. They were great. They were really, really good. So it's a shame now to see that they're going stale, they're going for sort of the same thing, or they had before in that last map. But now this is their chance to change things up, and they will. They've got some different positioning here as they do group up towards that northern side of the city. Yeah, but you got, again, you know, Vorsic and Positive and Kapolika just sitting and waiting. You can also see Tornado Rocks' tanks on that right side are pretty far into the eastern side village. Actually now heading out. I think, you know, Tornado hasn't spotted anything with the other tier 6, the LTTB of negative, and are completely aware that noMERCY will probably be doing another heavy northern push. All right, well, the IS-3s of Tornado won't initially be able to contribute there as Lucky Blast gets double tapped down. And he's going to try and push out as well. Matt Peel not too far behind him. There's a bit of a gap here in the push from noMERCY. So they'll be setting up on two fronts here. One quite forward in towards the buildings. Missed shots from IS-3s could hurt Tornado Rocks in the future. But Lucky Blast is like, oh, Matt Peel gets tracked up. Forced to repair that one immediately. But he may suffer one more shot from the IS-3s if he doesn't find cover real quick.
Yeah, so this is already going very well for Tornado Rocks. They've done a good amount of initial damage. But if you are pushing up north, you are completely aware that you're going to receive some damage on the cross. You just hope that you don't get perma-tracked. You hope that you can repair your tracks quick enough and Tornado will miss a few shells. But you're seeing the IS-3s or Tornado just head into that half-moon circle. They'll go around and they'll try and get the decaps as Positive and Volsic are really there just as backup.
3 IS-3s ready to push around a corner as well. The Armageddon, my 1945 here in Zik, they could just push around and wreck shock instantly. That's one tank already cancelled out now as those IS-3s are moving up. Slight reset there, I think, but now it's going to tick back down towards 8 seconds. And Tornado needs to sort of think on two fronts here. Fussy can do some work with that 5100 out from behind that bush. He will be lit, but he does take down Kapolika. And there's the push. The IS-3's coming in. Who's got the capture points? It was Rafik. They got the reset. Nice. Real solid reset there. Snippy's back around the corner. He's accruing those capture points as well. But Shock, he's trying to deal with 3 IS-3s right now. No one wants to be in that kind of position. And he's just going to try and sit tight, at least for the time being. Drops down. Snip now is the only man getting those cap points.
And Negative is doing really a good job in the background with that LTTB. He's actually the one doing a lot of damage and keeping noMERCY from being able to peak a lot of these situations. The 5100 does go down and really, you know, there's no way Tornado Rocks can lose this game anymore. They'll go in to try and finish Fasita and Snip.
Much like fellow Polish team Utopia, noMERCY are going to be exiting this game not with a roar, but again with a whimper. They're just going to sidle out of view, exit stage left with the tail between their legs and their heads down. It's not been a great performance from them. Tornado Rocks clean it up here with almost 4k points of health. That's 5-1. I don't think we're all too surprised about that result here as well. I mean, it speaks for itself. We saw, you know, again, noMERCY, it always seems like their strategy is all in. And if it doesn't work, well, okay.
Yeah, I think, you know, there was a lot of bad calls from noMERCY's part. I think they lost it on steps and they just couldn't come back on Roenberg. I mean, it's very simple stuff for Tornado. It didn't look like they even, you know, broke a sweat in that matchup. Quickly going through the damage, 2.4k from Positive, 1.4k from my 1945 year. You know, Positive, you were talking about him at the beginning of the matchup. Such a good player for Tornado Rocks. 1.5k for Jamto, the guy in the background with a 5100 who was getting taken down by Negative in the LTTB. So yeah, super easy matchup for Tornado. Secure themselves the 3 points and make sure that Virtus.pro or Kazna can't catch them up.
No, that's all right. They're solidly in that second place now, and this is great. The first and second auto qualify for the finals. That's huge. They don't have to play through the playoffs. They're there. They're going to be there on their day. So big for those guys as well. Now, here's the ladder as of the end of that game. And yeah, Tornado Rocks sitting pretty there, up an 8-2 with only one more game to go. Or even Virtus.pro could catch them, but it's going to take a heck of a lot. It's going to take Tornado Rocks to really drop the ball here. So our top 4 starting to solidify a lot more here. That's probably what we'll be seeing. Won't be seeing too much changes. Maybe in the mid-tables here is, you know, teams around that Ding sort of Penta Utopia area get their last games out of the way. We still got another match day later on this week as well to see the result of, but that is how it stands right now. And Tornado Rocks have done it, scored themselves a spot there very comfortably. Hand Melly, that is about all she wrote.
Say again?
So that's all she wrote. So that's essentially.
That's that. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And the community was right at the end with 67%. Much clearer in the end, as it started with close to 50% for the course of the whole first map. Yep. So people, thank you very much for getting involved that much, for sending us awesome pictures, for tweeting to us using the hashtag WGLEU, and also for getting involved in our votes. The winners of the past votes have been announced, so go and check beneath the postings on Facebook, which announced the team vote, if your name appears in the comment section. If so, give us a message and you'll receive your bonus code. Congratulations at this point to all past winners, and the next winners will come the next few days.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for that, Melly. And of course, Oliver, your closing remarks here.
Well, I think we had 2 very one-sided results. You know, Kazna crew just wiped the floor with Utopia, and of course that final round, Tornado were just simply a class above noMERCY. But you know, the story of today has to be Ding versus Penta, my match of the season by far. You know, I think Penta, a really disappointing result for them for sure. I mean, they just gave so many rounds away in Himmelsdorf. they gave a round away on Mines, and then they just, you know, the stage fright got to them, basically. The limelight got to them on that final map and steps, but still, it was a fantastic, fantastic match.
Really, really epic plays. Some interesting sounds being made by us here at the desk as well. Some exciting times, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's it for tonight. Let's have a look at our upcoming matches for Thursday, so you guys know exactly what you're getting yourselves into. Supreme versus Virtus Pro, first match of the night. That is going to be absolutely titanic. And then we see Stroxiemo go up against Synergy.
I mean, that first match, let's just talk about that first match, because it's the match everyone's been waiting for the whole season. We have to wait the 10 match days for it to finally come our way. But, you know, that's like on the same level as the Kazna Crew Supreme match that was last week. I think it's going to be slightly closer because it looks like Virtus Pro are back on their old, like, dominating, unbeatable form. So I'm super looking forward to that. Stroxiemo Synergy, teams that are pretty much on the same level. I would say Synergy has a slight advantage. Wusa Kazna Crew, old rivals for sure, but Kazna Crew have just upped the ante and upped their game.
And that's right. Kazna Crew have sort of managed to flourish, whereas Wusa have dwindled a little bit over recent times, but they are another team, not unlike Penta, that are in that rebuilding stage. We'll be back, of course, on Thursday night, 7 PM CEST. Don't miss it, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, good night and good game.